That's a gay-ass podcast.
What? That's a gay-ass podcast. What? A really, really, really gay podcast that we call That's a Gay-Ass Podcast.
That's a gay-ass name for a gay-ass podcast.
Sebastian Dino is here on That's a Gay-Ass Podcast, and I never get nervous for these interviews, but today I am because you look like the type of person that would beat me up. Confirm or deny, you would have bullied me in high school.
I was bullied in high school, so I would not do that to you. These muscles are just for show.
Oh, and you know what? Thank you for showing them because we always appreciate so much of, yes, the gorgeous muscles, but also you are an incredible dancer. For anybody who doesn't follow yet, Sebastian has worked on so many amazing shows. You've, of course, been on Drag Race multiple times. You have danced with Betty Who, Todrick Hall, Jennifer Hudson. You did Magic Mike Live in Vegas for years. You were just promoting the New York run in New York City, doing very big appearances with Channing Tatum himself. But it looks like you're now back in LA. Did you survive the cold? Was it devastating? Did you survive?
It was devastating. For the most part of my time here in the United States, I lived either in Vegas and in LA. I lived for a short period of time in Chicago, so I knew a little bit of how New York was going to be, but it was very intense. Like my hands were cut off, my earlobes. It was brutal.
It's really not built for people who enjoy a quality of life. I will say though that you've proved that you can withstand anything because you lived in one of the worst places for years, and that is, say it with me, Las Vegas. I just personally think it is the armpit of America. But we're gonna get into that. Let me tell the listeners what we're gonna get into in this interview. We're gonna chat about, of course, Magic Mike Live of it all. You being born in Puerto Rico and starting dancing. After the paywall goes up, we're gonna talk about some horny questions because you post on Twitter some really good horny takes and hot takes, and I also just have a lot of very disrespectful questions about you and your hornery. But before we get into it, can you tell me Magic Mike Live? I watched the full docuseries about them casting that show and about building the show, and I was blown away. I'm a huge fan, even though I haven't seen it live. I'm a huge fan of it seems like it's not toxic masculinity, it's just hyper masculinity, but built for everybody, which I feel to be absolutely delicious. But can you give it to us straight? What percentage of the cast was gay in Magic Mike Live Vegas when you were there?
It was the first original cast only had 2 gay members. It was me and another colleague, Manuel. It's hyper masculine and very, very straight world because of the people that work in it, but very welcoming, and it has so many amazing women in the building of the show. It's truly one of my favorite projects that I've ever worked with, and like you said, seems this hyper masculinity and very macho thing, but it's not. It flips you completely upside down, and I think a very big reason for that is because it has so many amazing women that are behind the show. And the cast
thank God for the amazing women that tell. We need the women to make sure to keep the straight men on their best behavior, and so I assume then backstage behind the scenes, you would know straight bullies in the cast of Magic Mike Live. All the dudes were okay to you.
Yeah, they were awesome. There were definitely people from all different backgrounds and all different places, and I joke around all the time because some of the guys that I started with are still very, very good friends of mine, and maybe are straight guys that I would have never relate to, or maybe had never share a drink with and wanted to hang out and talk about life with. But thanks to that show, I feel like it was this melting pot of different people, and we got to relate to each other in a personal level. That was pretty, pretty awesome.
Shout out. We love how dance can bring all walks of life together, gay
Absolutely.
And straight. But since this is a gay-ass podcast, Sebastian, I would love to ask you the famous gay-ass podcast question, which is, whose fault is it that you're gay? Who do we blame even, babe? Tell me.
We're going to blame Britney Spears.
Say more. What did she do?
Just be Britney Spears. You know what? I was 13, 12, And you hear a lot about like what kind of TV shows or what kind of things are discussed in media that can make you gay, right? And I knew that I was gay when I saw Britney Spears. There was nothing else that I wanted to do but to dance like her, to be like her, to like that was my obsession all the time. And at 13, I knew I was gay because I was just like, I just want to be this. I want to be Britney Spears, and that was my inspiration to dance. And
It's funny you say that because I can now like flash to the videos of you dancing and I can see Britney in the work. I can see the sassy head toss. I can see the hip. I can see the wrist. Will you tell me if we're going to Britney Spears, is there a specific music video that you think I would murder a man to have been a part of?
I would have not necessarily a music video, but her live in Vegas concert. I still have the DVD. I watched it. I even bought like an extra CD to connect to my computer because CDs don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, computers don't come with a CD pocket
Oh
anymore.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
watched. That's my Bible. Like I still see it. I watched that and I was like, I'm going to be a dancer. And still to this day.
Oh. Well, it's funny because people talk about now how like we don't get pop stars like Britney anymore, and I was actually recently watching a clip of hers from back in the day, and she really sure wasn't a great pop star, but the dancing specifically, she could serve like no other. And I
Absolutely.
think that the talent of her dance ability makes sense why it made you want to be a dancer. But I go to like the music video for Toxic and her being in a
Absolutely.
stewardess outfit and then backing her ass into a long hair blonde man's crotch in a bathroom. And that sort of did a lot for me culturally and physically.
Absolutely. I mean, Slave for You, when
Oh,
they're all in this sauna and they're like breathing on each
sweaty.
other and sweaty, and I was like, who doesn't want to do that? There's this
Yeah.
Brian Friedman, her choreographer at the time, that's responsible for all these iconic things. Recently posted a video of him being the stand-up for Britney while they were shooting the live of Vegas, and it's him doing, all the choreo and what she's supposed to be doing for the cameras. And I was like,
Yeah.
if I could do anything in my life, would be something like this, because that was really
Oh.
what I was doing in my living room, pretending that that I was Britney Spears.
Well, part of the reason why I'm such a fan of yours and so gagged to talk to you is that you, again, have this balance of masculinity in your physical presence and then this like beautiful femininity in some of the dance moves that you do. And I think it's just like we're living in such a great time where people don't feel like they have to subscribe to just one meaning of identity. But I'm curious about growing up in Puerto Rico and you started dancing at 15. Was that something that was culturally accepted for teenage boys to do? Did you get a lot of shit at school? Like, how did that sort of journey go?
It was definitely a rough start, and it's still an ongoing journey. I was strutting down the hallways of middle school, and like I was definitely bullied for it. And it was, my teenager, high school life was really hard because
Mm,
um, like I said before, I realized that I had an attraction for boys. What really woke up that gayness in me was wanting to dance, right? And that was where I was relating it to all the time. And then I had this, background of family and society being like, well, you just like boys and you want, dick and you want this and it's like I I really just wanted to like dance, and that was the only way that I knew how to dance, to move feminine and to be that way.
yeah.
So it was a little rough, and when I moved to United States at 19, I just wanted to be a pop star dancer, and quickly I figured out that maybe I had to edit myself and to figure out a way to enter to the industry
Mm,
that necessarily wasn't the way that I was coming up with. And I think that was that pressure and that acknowledgement that I needed to learn other type of dance and that maybe looking more masculine. And I went to a period of time that's all the type of classes that I was, that I was taking. It was like
wow.
how to be masculine, maybe get a little bit bigger, get muscle, and it wasn't. quick realization, or it's not like, oh, this is me and this is how I come in the world and you have to accept me. It was more like I had to change a little bit. And then somewhere there in the middle, I had to be comfortable with the fact that, hey, this other thing is still there. How do I like merge it together to make who I am now? And that's why I say it's like an ongoing like thing. It's not necessarily like a full
Yeah.
stop.
Hey y'all, I just watched the trailer for A24's new movie, The Drama, and your girl has thoughts. First of all, the cast is gorgeous. It's Robert Pattinson, it's Zendaya, but did you know that one of the Haim sisters is a capital A actress? It's Alana Haim, and in this trailer, she is acting her tits off. By the way, to me, this is giving the movie version of couples therapy, which is my porn. I just love watching a relationship crumble. Because in the trailer, it's Zendaya and Robert Pattinson planning their wedding, but then they play this game where they each say the worst thing that they've ever done, and whatever Zendaya says can't be good. My husband and I would never play that game. What's the worst thing you've ever done? That's like when the Real Housewives go around the table and say, who do you trust the least? But I'm so excited for this movie. You should go watch the trailer. You have to see it. It's in theaters April 3rd. And it's like one of those movies you got to go with your girls and then trauma bond after and talk about all of your worst relationships. My dream. A24's The Drama in theaters April 3rd. Go see it and go watch that fucking trailer. It's delicious. It's so well said, but it also breaks my heart in ways. And here's what I mean is that you were pretty much a genius to like come to the States and realize what you needed to do to make a career for yourself. And what's so smart about that is you sort of got the strategic idea down, which it took me until literally like my 30s to figure out the strategy of like trying to build an actual career where I make money as a performer and a comedian and blah, blah, blah. But you knew that you had to sort of project a different version of yourself that isn't authentic, and that's what kind of makes my heart hurt a little bit, is that you understood that the world wasn't going to accept you 100% at your like femiest. And does it, I don't know, do you carry any resentment that you had to sort of mute parts of yourself to build a career?
I don't think I carry resentment because with all the things that I was influenced by when I was younger, right? Like Sex and the City was the thing that had the first, big gay character that I saw, right? The way that I saw myself in pop culture when I was a kid was hyper feminine, and that was the only way that I even knew how to be gay. And the people that I related to in Puerto Rico were also drag queens, and I was always in that like ballroom world, and that was the only energy that I ever got. So then when I moved to the States, it was never about being gay or about living a gay life. It was, I just wanted to be a dancer. And it looked like a paper. It was like, what do I need to be a dancer? A choreographer that I admired to a lot was the easiest way to get into the industry is you look at the dancers of your favorite artists and how do they look like, which one looks like it, and try to emulate that, not imitate them, not be them, but be like, this is the pathway and this is the box that you have to do. So when I saw it, I just saw it as like a checklist of like, something that I had to do. And throughout that process, I discovered that I am not all the time super feminine, and that I have parts of me that are feminine, and that I have parts of me that are very, very masculine. And both of them are authentic. I don't have to pick and choose. They just kind of wave throughout. And
I see.
it never felt like putting up a mask. If anything, it was just like tapping on a part of myself that maybe I didn't discover yet, and like feeding more into it.
You're exploring the full spectrum of Sebastian, and I say Mazel Tov, and we celebrate that you can be a fucking princess queen or a butch dom daddy who wants the mustache to be sat upon. I salute you, Sebastian, I really do. I will say before we put up the paywall, I do want to know about your formative firsts when it comes to like a first boy kiss. Did that happen in Puerto Rico? Did you wait until you moved to the States? How did that go down?
No, that happened in Puerto Rico, but I don't think it was like a romantic or I really wasn't sure what was happening. I think it happened with another student, and we were at the time Jackass was like really popular, and like the thing to do was kind of like doing Jackass, like I don't know how to say it in English, like dares.
Oh
And
yeah.
one of the dare was to like kiss another boy, and it happened, and I was like, oh, I kind of like that. And then, I explore more of that later when I moved out of Puerto Rico.
Shout out. Well, yeah, Jackass sort of triggers my fight or flight because that was the straight man's like Bible, and all they wanted to do was hurt each other and by proxy, me.
Right.
Um, um well, you have tweeted some hot takes, including your hatred for what? Heated rivalry. In
Oh
fact,
my God.
you, Sebastian Dino, tweeted Boots is canceled, but Heated Rivalry got a second season? Question mark, question mark. Sebastian, say more.
I'll have to say I have not dived into Heated Rivalry enough. I think I watched the first 3 episodes, and that was where I was gathering my thoughts of it. I did watch it entirely of Boots, and I thought Boots explored just things that maybe haven't been explored in TV before. And we have to admit that those first 2 episodes of Heated Rivalry feel like soft porn that you get, HBO back in the day.
No. The first 2 episodes were giving, yeah, like sex heavy and less of the emotional journey. But did you watch the full
I have
season?
not. No, I have not. Those expressions on X were made with only those 2 or 3 first episodes in mind, and that's when Boots had just announced that it was canceled. So I was
Which, by the way, loved Boots. Angus O'Brien has one of the most popular episodes of last year on the podcast.
amazing.
Loved the show, but I do think you might have some pissed off listeners who say, "Wait, he's shitting on Heated Rivalry and he hasn't even finished it." What is stopping you from finishing the season? Are you just sort of
I
like making this your brand?
no, I'm not. You know what? I've received a lot of hate. I kind of regret uh, giving a how you call it, a just maybe a too rush of an opinion on Hidden
Oh, yeah.
Rivalry. So I will finish it, and I'm sure people have been saying how it does have an emotional journey, and I trust that absolutely. I just haven't seen it, and I look forward to seeing it and tweeting more about it.
Thank you for your political answer. I love how this now has turned into a gotcha journalist podcast. I just, understand that sometimes when something becomes really popular, we like don't watch it or finish it because it feels like we're being told to do it. But I just want to echo what, in a nicer way, what I'm sure hateful queens are DMing you, which is that the season ends with just like the most cathartic emotional release. I wept through all of the final episodes. It's just so delicious and vulnerable and well done. So we'll have to, have you back on after you watch, and then we can unpack your Heated
Let's do
Rivalry
it. Let's do
takes
it. I,
there.
I really look forward to it. I just haven't seen it. I also
Oh,
I'm getting more comfortable with Twitter, and I feel like sometimes you know uh, I get ahead of myself.
well, okay, let me give a preview for the second half of this because some of the things that you tweeted are so delicious. You tweeted something about loving a submissive top. We're going to talk about why that is. You tweeted 69 is so overrated. I will be asking for your takes. You have been talking about having your mustache to sit upon. You have talked some great shit on Twitter. But to get us into the horniest part of the conversation, when I ask you about any like hot hookup or dating tales, anything really exciting, controversial, shocking, embarrassing, anything come to mind, Sebastian?
Oh, let's see. What can I say?
Oh, by the way, as we're getting into the paid part of this episode, I have officially surpassed 500 paid subscribers on Substack, and I just want to say thank you. It's a
Congratulations.
big deal. I never thought that this could even pay a single bill, let alone one day, maybe all of them. So I'm getting closer to quitting my day job. We are above 500 paid subscribers. Shout out. I love you all so much. God bless you. Okay, now, Sebastian, horny story. What do you got?
Horny story. This is just maybe just quick one. It happened a long time ago, so I think it's good to talk about it.
Great.
Somebody talked into a podcast on a podcast about how they had a great experience hooking up with a Magic Mike dancer, and they were a male. And at the time, like I said, there were only two gay guys in the show. And the podcast was sent to the other gay guy, and was like, "Oh my God, did you do this?" And my friend sent it back to me and was like, "Who did you hook up with this person? And why are people attacking me now? Everybody thinks it was me." And there were some fun, spicy details about how it was a very fun time. So yeah,
And was
I
it,
guess
it was in fact you who hooked up with this man?
yeah, it was.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna have to dive in a little more. So, was the guy that hooked up with you, he was the guest on the podcast and he talked about it, or he just wrote
Yes, he
into the
was.
podcast?
Exactly. Yeah, he was the guest on the podcast. He was just like
So,
talking
is
about
he
like really good hookups that he had, and that was the hookup that came up. And then, it was only between my friend or me because we were the only ones at
Yeah,
the time.
that
So
is incredible. So how did it feel to know that someone was giving you 5 out of 5 stars on a public
oh,
platform about your?
it felt really good. Honestly, I was like, we never kept in touch after that. It was just like
Yeah.
a one-time thing, and
Is this person
it was
like a
nice.
public figure? Is he a comedian? Is he a performer? Or is he just happen to be a gay guy that did a podcast?
He's a performer. That's yeah.
I will leave it there. Now let me then, since we're not going to go into his identity, I will go into the hookup itself. Do you remember if you topped or bottomed during this encounter? For the rest of this interview, head to Substack, linked in the description. You can also watch bonus episodes with Mikey Graceffa from Death Becomes Her, Isaiah Rutledge, Sunset Boulevard's G-Min Moon. We have Derek Cage, Patrick, Nick, Thanos, Mark. They're all hot. The stories are amazing, and you should go check it out at substack.com/@EricWills, linked in the description. I love you, bye!